Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Daily Prophetcast, a Harry Potter podcast with myself and my man here, Amaru Moses, that we've slightly kind of done in the past, but now we're officially making it a thing. We've probably done it, twice now?
This is number 2.
I thought there was one when maybe we did the Snape one, and then no,
Yeah.
you're right. This isn't
Oh yeah, no, I forgot about the Snape one a long time ago. So I guess yes, this would be number 3 then with that.
Yeah. But first under this official banner, and this is something we talked about for a bit, and glad to finally get this going because, I'll say this up top: Harry Potter means a lot to both Amaru and I. This man I met him slightly because of his love of Harry Potter through Schmodown. And it's one of those things where, as a fan, it's hard to separate, especially when you're as old as we are. I'm 30, Rue's older than me. And actually, I'm about to be 31. Shit. And you get to the point where it's like, all right, do you separate from the artist? What do you do here? In the sense of what her beliefs are, Rue and I don't agree with it at all. We both had this conversation. This is a conversation we had going into this show. So that is why whenever we do these podcasts, you can donate directly to us at streamlabs.com/whatrealent, or there will be a link in the description to donate directly to A4TE, which is Advocates for Trans Equality. Harry Potter means a lot to us, but it shouldn't mean that people we care about and people we know and the people we care about know are less than human. They are human beings. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. Get over it. And just because she hates these people doesn't mean we have to. So, just our thoughts on the matter and putting it out there right away. But without further ado, Rue, how are you doing today, sir?
Tired. Very tired. I'm back at work. I'm a teacher. And I'm very busy at all times. But I decided to take my Sunday and talk about, again, a franchise that I do very much love. Even though the person that created it turned out to be somebody I'm not very in love with. But
Monster.
Yeah, but the actual messages and the entertainment and the joy that this franchise has brought to a lot of people for good reasons is something that is very hard to not forget about. It is definitely shaped a lot of our lives. And I have always been on the more positive side of separating art from artists, or just in anything in general. So yes, please go donate. And yes, I'm gonna still follow this show. I know the shit that goes along with it, and I don't fault anybody who will not, not even a little bit. But other than that, life is good. Life is very good. I'm just tired, but you know what? It's a very good tired, including good things always being on here with you, man.
Yeah. And real quick, you talk about the themes going on in this series. Very, very prevalent to everything going on in our world in the U.S. today. Woo. But without further ado, let's jump on into it, because I've been the one keeping up with this shit. Who's like, listen, you're gonna teach me along the way on some of this stuff. So, of course, we all know that we got our cast, the main three: Arabella Stanton, Dominic McLaughlin, and Alistair Stout. Those are our Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Fun fact, and this is probably one of the multiple times you'll hear me bring up the Harry Potter new Audible series, is Arabella Stanton, who's cast as our Hermione in the HBO series, is also the voice for Hermione in books 1 through 3 of the audio series. So got this little clip right here I'm going to play and let you guys get a taste of what this young woman might be going into this series.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. It was very funny because I got back from school and my parents said, right, we need to have a talk to you about your behaviour. And I was like, what have I done wrong? I was so nervous that they were going to tell me off and I'd be like suspended from school. And they were like, okay, so you're going to be playing the part of Hermione Granger in the audio series. And I just stopped for a few seconds. I was like, what? I thought it was about behaviour.
Now, she's playing the part of Hermione in the audio series, but I take it with what this audio series is entailing and the fact that all the books come out on the same day in November, that she was cast as Hermione in the audio series long before she was cast in the HBO series.
She sounds just like fucking and she sounds pretty damn perfect. So like if you did that well in the audio series to go ahead and say, hey, we're gonna also cast you in the live action show, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer there. If you have somebody that good and a young actress that practiced in the character to move on, I mean, like it's a great fit.
Probably knows a good amount of the script already, but I mean, she's not the only one who we've gotten here. Dominic McLaughlin, who is playing the title role of Harry Potter, did an interview with BBC recently about a film he did with Ted Lasso's Jeremy Strong, and I believe Nick Frost, who's playing Hagrid, is in the series as well. But this give you a taste of what he's going to sound like heading into the series.
Dominic, of course, we've got to say huge congratulations for getting the role on Harry Potter. And we've seen the first pictures of you in the costume. Just tell us, what was that moment like when you got to put it on?
A bit surreal, to be honest, because I was always a huge Harry Potter fan when I was younger, and it was like the dream role, of course. So I'm thrilled to be able to be doing it.
Not the same hype you can get from her, but it was interesting to see that we did get Scott. So and he's a young boy. So is he going to be able to pull off the accent that he needs to? I don't know, because that's kind of a heavy Scottish accent for a young kid, honestly.
Yeah, the big thing here in this for me that I don't think Arabella's going to have any issues with, but all three of them, not even all three of them, everybody on the cast is going to have to deal with comparisons to the movie cast. But them three most are going to have to like get past, well, they're not Emma. Oh, they're not Rupert. Oh, they're not Daniel. And like for me, it's a completely new start to this. So you have to take on their interpretations. He is going to have the most pressure. Mm-hmm. Like the high voice that Daniel brought to Harry and his particular accent, everybody's going to hear that. So hearing a completely new voice, gotta hopefully in the very early episodes of the first season, gotta hope that he brings something, which I no doubt they've casted him, no doubt that he probably will, to make it his own. But also he's like 12. So yeah. Like let the kid grow into his own, just like we let Daniel grow into his own. Gotta remember to separate those two, because it's a new start, y'all.
And notice that's the one thing I have not brought up the original series. I don't want to compare them. I've already gotten myself in this mindset of not comparing these new kids to the originals. It makes no sense to. It's ridiculous. Because the total, and I remember when this got announced, you and I were both excited. Like you and I were talking, we were both excited because you and I, being really big fans of the books, were like, listen, there's key stuff in the last movie essentially that is missing because they skipped over it, or there's stuff that they did in the last couple movies that wasn't explained because they skipped over it in previous books when it should have been established, and they just hoped the audience wouldn't catch it. And honestly, I just did a rewatch of the series. We're gonna have a friend of ours on here later down the line named Nick Twig to talk about the opposing side of that argument, which is leave it alone. I don't need these. The books are the books. The movies are the movies. I don't need the show. I'm all for new media in general, and I get that it's been only 24 years since this whole journey started, but
that brings up something funny to me. Like I'm not gonna say I feel like I would be in the middle of the two of you, because when it first got announced, my first thought was like, why? but also I'm gonna watch it because yes, there's a lot of stuff, a whole storylines that were not hit that you can hit on now that I'd love to see on screen. I personally would have wanted a new series or a prequel.
I did too,
but I'm not.
It's what I got, so I'm living with it, and I'm gonna watch
exactly.
it.
I'm not completely opposed to it because there are some reasons. But what's funny to me is if you think about remakes and like redos, 24 years since 25 by the time this comes out, I guess, since the first movie came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we were younger in the 90s and there were remakes and redos, pretty sure a lot of them were of 25-year-old pieces of content. And we didn't think about it that way.
And that's why I hate people who bring up that argument. Oh, it's too soon. It's like, you do realize some of the remakes and whatnot you love from your childhood or movies that are only like 20 or so years old at the time.
Yeah. So, but I will say, I guess I can like understand the older generations who would tell me, why do we need this? And I'm like, hey, I've never seen this. So yeah, it's what the new generation is going to come up with, even though they probably also loved the movies. But yeah, it is what it is. We got it. So let's see how it works.
I mean, the one big thing I will always say that they omitted from 6 and 7, which plays a huge part in how the mechanics of the 7th story works, is the Mundungus robbing Sirius's house after he's killed, and then what little pieces of things that Harry has left. That's how we get the story of the locket. Like, it's brought up real quick, but like the broken mirror, where you just have Harry have that broken mirror in his sock the entire 7th movie, and it's like, I know this because I read the book, but to these other people, who's he talking to in this mirror, and why is he talking into a mirror shop?
Yeah, and they answer it, but it's like, I forgot about the mirror shark. Yeah, again, a lot of pieces that like work for the movie, but a lot more in depth, like things that you're missing, and people might have been like, I didn't even realize that was a big pop. Yeah. So again, didn't need it, but you don't need a lot of things that you get. So I'm still watching, and I'm very interested to see like Spew for one.
Yes, you and I are on the Spew train. I'm so happy about.
Like I'd love to see how that would play out years down the line, and actually see that
Quidditch.
Actual Quidditch after the second movie, and a great scene that Alfonso put together in Prisoner of Azkaban. But anyway, there's enough new things.
Winky, you hit on that's one of the big things I plan on covering, because the 4th movie is where we start taking radical departures from what the novels were. And granted,
Quidditch World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see that.
Yeah, just so much, and we're going to cover all that here. Don't worry. But continuing on, because a lot of this episode is going to be casting and looking at some of the photos that have come up from the set. So continuing on, we also got the casting of the Weasley children that we primarily see in the first movie or book. Excuse me. So after Alistair Stout, who you can see costume photos of right here with Jenny, we got his sister Jenny, the twins Fred and George, and Percy. Now, I don't know about you, but all the kids except for Ron look like they can be related in my opinion. Ron just looks so different compared to the rest of them. And the people playing the siblings are Fred is being played by Tristan Harlan, George is being played by Gabriel Harlan, Percy is being played by Rory Spooner, and Ginny is being played by Gracie Cochran. They all look like siblings. Ron looks like the redheaded cousin or stepchild. Like,
shouldn't he be like the brown-headed cousin? That doesn't work in this scenario.
But he's redheaded. That's the issue.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
I know, but like, and then you can see a picture of Miss Weasley, who we'll cover here in a second. But yeah, I mean, oops, wrong thing.
It's never a bad thing to show that. But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just incredible. Like, those kids look like they would be a family. And I mean, the Weasleys in the first film they looked enough. They all looked so different that it wasn't like, okay, we know they're not siblings, but we have to pretend they're siblings. Where this, you're like, no, those other four can definitely pass off as siblings. No, I'm excited. Fred and George, like, there's a lot going through. There's a lot of Fred and George we have missing in the later books that I can't wait to potentially get into as long as the show does get its entire full series run. Just I'm excited, dude. But let's keep on diving on through this because this is about to be a long one. Like when I said, one of our first episodes was covering the casting rumors of Papa Aceto, Severus Snape, and some other potential cast members. Well, we got some confirmations. We have that is 3 of the 4 other cast lists I have to go over with you. These are all of various people who I will go over in a minute. Just wanted to give you guys a look at who each of them are before I start rattling them off. So in the top corner, we have Miss Molly Weasley. Next to her, we have, she's being played by Catherine Parkinson. Next to her, we had Locke Pratt playing Draco Malfoy and Johnny Flynn playing Lucius Malfoy. Below them, we have Leo Early playing Seamus Finnegan, Alicia Leone playing Parvati Patil. No word on who's playing her sister yet. I know some people caused issues for no reason because she's not a girl who was from India, but she is of Indian descent, which fans don't be stupid. They're just children. It's a gig. Next to her, we have, okay, there we go. Sienna Musa, who's playing Lavender Brown. Below them, we have Belle Powley playing Aunt Petunia, Daniel Rigby playing Uncle Vernon, and Bertie Garville, a BAFTA and Tony winner, playing Cornelius Fudge. On the other end, in the center there, we have John Lithgow playing Dumbledore, Janet McTeer playing McGonagall, Papa Aceto playing Snape, Nick Frost playing Hagrid, Luke Fallon playing Quirrell, and Paul Whitehouse playing Filch. And lastly, we have Rory Wilmot playing Neville Longbottom, Amos Kitson playing Dudley Vernon, Luis Borelli playing Madam Hooch, and HBO alum and Game of Thrones star Anton Lester playing Garrick Ollivander. That is just one of the 3 of the numerous casting announcements we have gotten. Rue, what do you think when you see some of these faces?
I'm very interested to see how one of the only non-Brits, Scots, Irish, UK people in John Lithgow is going to do. He had to have blown him out of the water to be an American playing anybody in this cast. So I'm interested because I've never seen John Lithgow missing anything. No matter how good or bad the show is, he's hit on everything he's ever done.
So apparently he blew the producers away with his portrayal of Winston Churchill out in the West End in London. He had been doing that before being cast in the show.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I really think the Nick Frost casting is almost perfect. Yes. I just like, you can't do anything about, because people were talking about the one picture of him looks like cosplay. I can't tell what looks like cosplay or not. People cosplay really well. Wait till the show comes out. But just the ability to have a mixture of naivety, warmth, but a little bit of danger because he's a giant. Nick Frost, Shaun of the Dead, he does that really fucking well. I was really, really happy with Janet McTeer. I think she can channel Dame Maggie Smith, but also make it her own. And I didn't know his name, but I really, really like Anton Lester as Ollivander. He was another one that, like, he's pretty snappy. He can. I think he can do that well. So I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah, I would agree. There's only so many names that we actually know on here, and that's part of the issue. Like, I primarily know Lithgow, McTeer, Pop. I started watching what was it? Please Don't Destroy Me on Apple with Papa Asidu, Nick Frost, and then Lester from his work on Game of Thrones. Otherwise, it's just a ton of kids, a ton of well awarded actors and actresses across the UK. So it's like, all right, I'll ride with it. I'll give it a chance. Because let's be honest, most of the people we knew from the original series were just well-known actors and actresses across the UK and Britain that we didn't know because we were across the pond watching American films and television.
Yeah. So
moving
a couple
on.
of the names, I say a couple of big names I'm not too mad about. And I'm interested to see Papa because I've never actually watched anything with him in it. So wonder whether or not he'll make me actually like the shitty ass character that is Snape. So
we hate Severus Snape on this podcast. We no redemption for Snape here.
Trash ass individual, trash ass character.
Trash ass.
But anyway, yeah.
There is a big name that we'll finish off with in terms of casting. But first, before we do that, more casting that we got: Professor Sprout, Serene Saba, Professor Binns, which is a character we don't really get to spend a ton of time with, but I enjoy knowing he's going to be in the series. That's Richard Durden. Madame Pomfrey is being played by Brid Brennan. Dean Thomas, Elijah Ocean, Crabbe, Finn Stevens, and Goyle William Nash. Again, just getting those faces of the kids. Nothing special. The only person I really know here, I forgot to put Grip Hook down there.
Yes, I was going to say Lee Gill from Joker and Joker 2, who was actually the standout in both of those films. I think seeing him, I was like, yeah, give him more work because he's a great actor.
Yeah, and we almost totally forgot about he's already been in the Harry Potter universe and the Fantastic Beasts films. So
there you go.
So he at least knows what he's getting into. But the biggest casting announcement that we've gotten since that initial 6 teachers and Hogwarts staff was the return of one Professor Phileas Flitwick, with Warwick Davis being the first member of the original films coming back, and he's returning to play the same character that he played. Hopefully they don't change his look midway through the series.
You know what? I want Flitwick. Now forget that. I want Flitwick to be the fashionable dude who changes up his look, his beard, and everything, and charms the hell out of himself. Every episode is a completely different look. That's what Flitwick needs to do. He's the charms guy.
I'd be fine with that.
All the time. Let him change it.
I'd be fine with that, but like if he's changing every episode, you know what? Cool. But changing the character's look midway through the series, and originally, for those who don't know, it's a weird thing that he was Flitwick in the first 2 films, and then initially they were like, "Oh, we changed his look, and that's not Flitwick. We're Warwick Davis, but that's not Flitwick. That's just the choir teacher that you've never heard about from Hogwarts." And then they're like, "Well, we're using the same actor, and might as well just say, hey, we changed his look, and that's Flitwick now." And it's like, huh? Okay. But like, why? Age that motherfucker down like 20 years in summer.
The only thing Alfonso Cuarón did that was very head scratching in terms of like the decision making, because the character was dope and the choir was dope. Everything is dope in that film. But I was like, he's not Flitwick. He's Flitwick. I don't give a shit what y'all say. That's Flitwick. You just decided to like not be old anymore. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a choice. But before I dive into something Rue and I have been talking about off air a bit more, so this is the last we'll cover on the HBO series. Just some looks of the cast pictures. They're clearly something that they're doing, which hadn't really been done with the films, is they're putting this in the right years and time period that the movies are supposed to take place between 91 and 96, right?
Or 92 and 98, something like that.
Yeah, something like.
Yeah, I thought the Battle of Hogwarts was in 98.
Okay, I know it was 97 and 98, but yeah, like we're getting these an actual 90s like show. The 90s cars have been spotted. Ain't no way in hell you'd be seeing someone wear what Dudley's wearing and probably even what Vernon's wearing in these pictures if it wasn't a show taking place in the 90s, because early 90s shared some fashion sense with the 80s, and that's just proof right there. Some more set photos. We have Harry being taken to school by Hagrid. And I love Hagrid. I love, granted, we'll talk about this next bit in a minute. I love the slight change to the umbrella to make it look more like an umbrella. And I love Nick Frost. And what we're not seeing is the actual like fake human mask that they have, the tall guy wearing to do the digital edition of Nick Frost's face later. But my buddy Nick Molbach thought that was actually Nick Frost until I pointed out the two black holes on the head to be like, no, that's for the person's eyes. It's incredible what they're doing with this. Just absolutely incredible. But the reason I did the Hagrid one last is that you got to talk about the fact of what Chris Columbus said. I don't know if you were familiar with.
I did not hear what Chris Columbus said.
So a few weeks ago, Chris Columbus was doing a podcast, and of course, considering he's the director of the first two films, people asked him about his feelings on the HBO series, and he's like, I wish them all the best luck. I've seen the photos that have been leaking from set and everything. But at the same time, what are they doing different? He's like, sure, you're going to have some of these different characters and stories that got dropped from it, but look-wise, it's the same. Look at Hagrid. I saw the pictures, and I was like, oh, that's the same thing. That's literally the same costume. And I was just like, it's not the same costume. It's very similar, but at the same time, what are you supposed to do? It's a look based on a book description.
I mean, it goes back. It's a question that needs to be asked. But like, what are you fishing for with these kind of questions? It's already brought up, and it goes back to like, why are we doing the show? Well, you're going to get a lot of the same stuff. You're going to get a lot of new variations of the same stuff, but you're going to add on to it. Yeah, of course it is. I honestly don't know what else Chris Columbus could have said except for I got no comment. So like,
leave it at like I wish him well. Like,
yeah,
but I've been there before. Leave it at that.
Yeah, I guess so. It's kind of a no-win situation. Because also if you say like I wish him well and then nothing else, it's like, well, you couldn't say anything good. You can say anything, no matter what he would say or anybody previously would say, except for Daniel Radcliffe, who rightly said, I don't want to be anywhere near that for good reasons. Like their thoughts are going to be, yeah, it's the show. It's the movie we did. Now it's a show. Cool. So yeah, it's really going to be fishing for not much until the show comes out.
Yes. So moving on to the next news, but we're done with the pictures and everything because this is stuff that we just haven't got to talk about or have talked about slightly off screen. Tom Felton returning to the role as Draco Malfoy on Broadway. Rue, your thoughts?
I mean, it's and this is for
Kershaw.
He's
the right age. He's the right age.
Yeah, he probably looks a lot better at that age than he did at the end of 7 somehow. Not somehow, that was horrible makeup. I mean, like he knows this character. He knows how this character would age. So like it's a the role for him. It's what it's what you should be looking to do. And I'm interested in what people think if he's still able to carry on the role in live and not with retakes and all that goodness. Think he's going to kill it, or he should, because he's a great Draco. So
going to try to go to Broadway in his 6-month run. That actually got extended already, I think.
Not surprising. No,
Just
though
because
I'm not big on going to plays. Even with Kurt, I read Cursed Child. I'm like one of the few people who actually kind of enjoyed it. If it comes to Charlotte, maybe.
I know it's touring right now, but I didn't know if the allure of seeing Tom play Draco would be enough to pull you out and get you to watch it in person.
I'm all right. Sorry. It also doesn't help that my wife is not big on like musicals or plays in general. I know it's not a musical, but plays in general, it's not something we. So like, no, it's
That's
not.
totally
Unfortunately,
fair.
yeah.
Totally fair. Next, for those people who don't know, and I played the clip earlier of Arabella Stanton, Amazon and Kindle are doing a new audiobook series of these films or of these books, and there has been incredible casting behind it. Rue, do you, outside of what we've talked about with Mr. Weasley, do you know any of the Amazon Harry Potter audiobook casting?
Yes, you sent it to me, and it looked pretty damn amazing in terms of voice cast and everything. And it would be lovely to have a lot of these people in the show. But Nick Frost in the movie, Simon Pegg here, yeah, a lot of them look like are great voices for this. 100%.
So here, for those people who don't know, Hugh Lowry is Professor Dumbledore. Matthew McFadden is Lord Voldemort. Riz Ahmed is Snape. Michelle Gomez is Professor McGonagall. Mark Addy is Ruby's Hagrid. Frankie Treadway is Harry in books 1 through 3. Jackson Cop is Harry in books 4 through 7. Max Lester is Ron in 1 through 3. Reese Mulligan is Ron in books 4 through 7. Arabella Stanton, or Hermione Granger in the HBO series, is Hermione in 1 through 3. And Nina Barker Francis is Hermione in books 4 through 7. And then later on, it was reported by I think it was Hollywood Reporter or Variety, who shared the fact that James McAvoy.
I'm looking at it now. If you want me to write it down, it is Variety. The one that's really interesting, Keira Knightley is Professor Umbridge.
Yes,
that's a real interesting one. But McAvoy is Mad-Eye Moody, which is kind of perfect. Kit Harington is Professor Lockhart. Simon Pegg is Arthur Weasley.
Perfect
Leo
casting.
Woodall as Bill Weasley. Iwan Rheon as Professor Lupin. Ruth Wilson as Bellatrix Lestrange. If you don't know who Ruth Wilson is, she was the mother of the main character in his Dark Materials.
You know who Lupin is, right?
My man from Game of Thrones.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. The other
bastard
in the Battle of
the bastard who's twisted as fuck.
Yeah, so that's also another like flip of what you are used to hearing his. I don't know who Ambika Mod is for Tonks. I don't know.
I heard her cast for something big recently. Hold on.
Okay. As you're going through that, Gemma Whelan as Professor Sprout and Matt Berry as Sir Cadogan.
Matt Berry is perfect.
Some big names there for the voice casting for sure.
Yeah, no, Matthew.
Matt Berry.
Matt Berry is perfect. Okay. Ambika Mod was you saw Black Bag, right?
Yes.
She was the Indian British spy in that.
Got it. Got you.
I loved her in Black Bag. Black Bag was fantastic.
Very good movie.
One of probably in my top 10 for the year. Granted, it's not been a great year in my opinion, but yeah, like.
Funnily, I just posted that it's actually been a pretty good bounce back year. Solid. That's another conversation.
No, it's another conversation. It's better than last year. I'm not going to deny that. I just still don't think it's a great year. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in the world of Potter right now. I actually got bombarded with videos and pictures. I went to the Harry Potter store in Chicago back in August. That place was awesome. Rue went to the one in New York a few years ago. Was that
last year ago? Last November.
Yeah, it was last
about a year ago.
And I mean, so I think the New York's theme is actually just like Hogwarts and more so just general theme. Each store apparently has their own theme. The theme for the Chicago store is Goblet of Fire.
Nice.
So like they have a life-size goblet. I think you saw the video, and I think I sent you this video of it just in the center of the store. They have a golden egg you can take a picture with as you walk in. So much cool. It's if you ever get a chance to go to one of the Harry Potter stores, go. They're cool, and they're just a fun experience. But I think we covered everything we're going to cover for today. This month's episode. We'll figure out a day next month to go live again and talk about what other things have happened in the world of Harry Potter. Rue, where can the good people find you, sir?
You can find me at Amaru Moses. Also, Twitter's the only one that's like weird because I'm a big Nick fan. That is not a bot handle. That is my old AOL handle. That's why it has so many numbers. But Amaru Moses, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can also find me on the Bite Size Breakdown YouTube channel and bitesizebreakdown.com for all my movie reviews and movie news.
You can find me here on my own YouTube channel, Lot Real Entertainment, and over on Bite Size Breakdown when we do a bigger bite. That's our spoiler movie and TV show podcast. I host that. Rue hosts it when it's stuff I can't do or I haven't seen, and he has seen it. So you can go check those out. They're normally fun. Rue and I are on a lot of the episodes, and it's just silly, fun times. Debates happen, and yeah. And like I said, be sure to come back for the Daily Prophetcast, where myself and Rue and the occasional guest will just talk about Harry Potter, or there will be some episodes where we just have a general theme. Like I can tell you the next episode we're going to do is who's cast as Voldemort, because this is something we haven't talked about, but they've already apparently cast Voldemort. And the person's locked in for the entire series. So it's going to be very interesting to see who they chose and how people go about it. But we do know it will not be, or we've been told it won't be Matt Smith or Cillian Murphy, if you believe those men. But granted, Rue and I work in this space enough to know NDAs are a thing and don't believe anything people tell you. So with that, follow us there. Be sure to check out my reviews on this channel for him and my review for A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. And then later tonight on the Watt Gaming Twitch, that is twitch.tv/WattRealEnt, just like that StreamYard up there above Rue's head. You can check out Taylor's live stream of our WWE 2K League, where he will be doing his big pay-per-view event. So be sure to check those out. And remember, donate to A4T, Advocates for Trans Equality and Trans Rights. So be sure to support them. That's anytime we do these, we're going to take donations to send to them, and that's just our beliefs. So with that, folks, signing off, I am Matt. That is Amaru. This was the Daily Prophetcast, and we will see you next time. Peace.